Hello everybody. Um, Here we have a small resume of the beta two-stroke bike's evolution. We have here the last one. This is 2022 300. We'll come back here, just a small review. This is a 2019. This is the last second generation. And we have here a 2013 Racing. This is the first generation of the two strokes. The cylinder is not here because we are just doing an overhaul of the piston, but this is a 2013. But if you look well, basically we have the same here, super perfect two strokes. If we just take the engine as it is, it has no changes at all compared to the three generations. Basically, this engine case, the same here for the 2019 and the 2020. The engine case is basically the same. The evolution which happened basically in these bikes in terms of engine and frame, I will explain soon. So starting from frame, you can see that the frame is a bit like the bike center gravity is back, and it is very easy to ride like a chopper. The engine and the cylinder is on the front here and lower, so it is very good bike for making uphills, very comfortable. If you see, basically the so-called button here is for removing the chair to have access to the battery, and so on the 2019 we still have it, you can see here. And from the 2020, this was a generation change. The button is still here, but the access for leaving up the bike is not here. So basically they remove this hole because they said it was not good, it was getting too much dirt inside here. On the 2013 you still have it here. So the change is that on the 13, on the 19 is there, but on the 2020, this is a 22, they removed the hole. You can also remove the chair with the button. Coming back to the frame, so this is like a chopper, very comfortable, very good bike for doing uphills because it doesn't tend to make wheelies because the engine is and the weight is more in the front. It was this way until 2017, when came out the first 2018. This is the model 19, and the 18 is very similar in the case of the frame, where they put the engine backwards more, so they lift it back to the center gravity, and the frame is more so it's less chopper, is more, they put more less weight in the front to make possible the wheelie of the bike. In 2020, in advance, we have a new frame which is completely flat in the top. It's very kind of fast frame, and it tends to be easier to wheelie the bike. It was a problem for the racing guys, for the racing pilots. They said it's difficult to get the bike wheelie. What is very important, if you are riding in the rear tire, you need to make possible the wheelie. So this is the main change of the frame. It is 2020. Also, here was a change on the front part of the frame because it was difficult to steer the bike. But now it's fixed on 2022. Okay, coming back to the 2013, we can say that basically in the um, engine part, but before engine I can say that the brakes and clutch, everything remained the same. In the brakes we have the so good Nissin top and bottom. On the clutch we have the same here, and in all the types the good Brembo system. Rest, everything is the same. We can say that most of the frame parts are very useful. The only thing is that from 2018 they removed the Kickstarter because they say it's so reliable, the electric starter, that they don't need it. So you can see also the 2020 has no Kickstarter. It's very stable, but you can put it if you want. Regarding frame, there were always evolution on suspension. We can say that until 2017 they use Marzocchi suspensions for the racing systems, and they had their own Sachs ZF suspensions, you can see here, which in my opinion are very good for a kind of amateur riding. From 2018 and 19 they developed this very good Sachs closed cartridge suspension, which is very reliable, fast and easy to service. The standard Sachs is also good, but not for racing. From 2022 for 2020 they start to use Kayaba in the front of the racing cases, and the Kayabas are as you know well, are fantastic. In the rear the ZF Sachs is still there in the racing cases also, and we can say are fantastic. On the standard we can say that from 2022 this version is one of the best suspensions in standard cases we had. It's very stable, very useful, and is a good all-rounder. Now let's go to the engines. In the engines, basically from 2013 to 17 we had this big clutch. The basket and all internal parts were big. People were sometimes not happy because it is not kind of racing clutch, is kind of heavy, and so from 2018 they developed the case is the same. They developed a smaller clutch, smaller cap, until 2021 when they came out with a new clutch spring, which was basically not the normal 6 springs like 2019. Here we have only one spring in the 2022, the big plate spring, and the main problem with this clutch was it had only 4 springs and was not stable on high speed clutching. So main change from from 13 to 17 is that they change in 18 and 19 6 spring clutch. Okay, and on 21 and 22 we have a new kind of plate spring like the other trademarks. Now the clutch is more softer, more stable, and you can add more power on them. Coming back to the engine of 13, we had an old kind of cylinder here where the exhaust port was complete with the cylinder. So if you break the exhaust port, you need to change the cylinder. Okay, and it was a flat piston from 2018-19 until 22. You can change the exhaust port. Basically, if you break the exhaust port, you can change it without changing the cylinder. Here from 18 and 19 we got a very strong, very powerful engine. Too powerful. People was not so happy with it. So from 18 in advance, different clutch, powerful engine. The piston was not flat like until 17. It was a high compression piston. Very powerful bike. It was difficult to handle. Until 20 was very strong. In 21 and 22 they lower the performance. In 22 they came out with a new piston and cylinder. So in 22 we have now a bigger piston and cylinder, and the stroke is 1 millimeter less, the bore is 1 millimeter more. So the 22 bike is more heavy. It's like a real heavy bike. In my opinion, is more sweet and less kind of powerful, but the engine curve is very good. Okay, here on the 18s and 19s it was too powerful, very high compression. It was really difficult to handle these bikes. So if you were kind of newbie, you can have big problems. Regarding water pump, no big changes. Basically, you can say that in 2000, from 13 to 15, the crankcase was 1 millimeter smaller. From 17, they increased the crankcase 1 millimeter. So from 16 to this year, 2022, the crankcase is 1 millimeter bigger. So a bigger flywheel can take place in the engine, more torque, less heavy the bike, but very good performance. So coming back to the wheels, Beta always use XL wheels. You can see the Takasago XLs. In the rear we have the fantastic Nissin on all the eras. This 2020 has the same. Basically these parts didn't change. Same here and same here in 2022. You have the same parts. Regarding the other parts, we can say it doesn't change at all because are very good in quality. From 21 we had this type of pegs, a bit copy of the trademarks, are not bad. We can say the lever, the speed lever is the same. Mostly we can say they don't change what is good. There were also changes in the radiators from 20 in advance. It's different radiator. This has this type of cap. Here we have a plastic cap. I wouldn't say it's better, but these radiators are different basically. In terms of plastics, we have a big change from 2020. You can see this is beautiful. The head has changed. It's more like a devial. From 2013, it's the well-known mask we use always. But I always use the red, the devial red. This is a racing bike, so we can say it's a well-known good trademark. Regarding the suspension, they are always making evolution. On every year they make a change. We can say that the real racing bike started from 2013. You know, they are 8 times enduro cross and super enduro, enduro GP champions. So there should be a reason why is it so good. We have Steve Holcomb, who has 8 championships. So we should say that these bikes are good, no? Cheers, man.